What if the key to being wise isn't about memorizing a ton of facts? What if it's actually about changing the way you think? Today, we're going to dive into that really powerful connection between wisdom and your mindset. I mean, seriously, what is wisdom? Is it just about knowing things, or is it something deeper? Something about how we see ourselves and the world around us? Yeah, that's the big question we're getting into.
So, here's the plan. We've dug into some incredible insights from philosophers, old proverbs, even modern thinkers, and we've boiled them down into a few core ideas. And I think by the time we're done here, you're going to have a whole new way of looking at things. Let's jump in.
All right, first things first. Our journey starts with maybe the most important step of all. Because it turns out, real wisdom isn't found by looking out there, it's found by looking in here. And listen, this isn't some new age idea. We're going all the way back to ancient Greece for this one. Aristotle basically said that before you can even begin to understand the world, you first have to understand yourself. So what does that actually look like? Well, it all starts with just being self-aware, taking a really honest look at what you're good at, and just as important, being real about what you're not so good at. This isn't about judging yourself, it's just about seeing clearly, because that self-knowledge, that's the foundation for everything else. Okay, so once you start to get a handle on who you are, what's next? Well, the next step is to master that inner world, to kind of build a fortress inside your own mind. Let's see how that plays out. Man, I just love this proverb. It is so powerful. What it's really saying is that all the challenges on the outside, criticism, setbacks, difficult people, they only really have power over us if we're already fighting a battle on the inside. So the big takeaway here is that the real opponent, most of the time, is our own self-doubt, our own fears, the negative stories we tell ourselves. Once you can get that inner voice on your side, the stuff on the outside just doesn't hit as hard. It's not that the world gets easier, it's that you get stronger from the inside out. All right, we've looked inward. Now let's kind of shift gears and talk about how wisdom grows over a lifetime, because it's all about having the mindset of a student who never, ever graduates. And who better to talk about this than Einstein, right? He totally nailed it. You don't get a certificate that says you are now wise. Nope. Real wisdom comes from constantly trying to learn every single day. It's a journey, not a destination. And a huge part of being a student for life, it's knowing when to just be quiet. This Ethiopian proverb says it all, doesn't it? You can't learn a thing when you're the one doing all the talking. True wisdom comes from listening, from actually absorbing what other people have to share. Okay, now this next one, it's a little tough to swallow, but it is so profound. This philosopher from way back, Gracian, is basically saying that your critics can be your best teachers. And why is that? Because they're the only ones who will tell you the hard truths. And you can see the difference right here. A fool just wants to hear praise from friends, which keeps him comfortable. But a wise person, they can take that truth from an enemy and use it to grow. So the real question is, do you want to stay comfortable? Or do you want to get better? So knowing yourself is huge. Being a lifelong learner is crucial. But all that wisdom is pretty useless if you don't do anything with it, right? This next part is all about where your mindset actually meets the real world. This is just such a powerful idea. Oprah is reminding us that our future isn't some fixed thing. The single biggest tool you have to change your life is your attitude. That simple shift in how you see things, that's the first real step toward making a change. And look, things are gonna go wrong. It's just a fact of life. But when they do, this proverb is like a masterclass in learning from your mistakes. It's telling you to look past the obvious failure and figure out what actually caused it. You see, focusing on where you fell, that's just looking at the symptom. It's the bad outcome, the failed project. It tells you what happened, but it doesn't tell you why. But looking at where you slipped, now you're getting somewhere. That's the real cause. The slippery rock, the bad habit, the thing you didn't prepare for. And that's the thing you can actually fix so you don't fall the same way again. And learning from our mistakes shouldn't make us more afraid. It should actually make us braver. Lewis Carroll knew this. Think about it. 20 years from now, what's going to bother you more? The time you tried something and failed, or all the chances you were too scared to even take? We have covered a ton of ground here, from knowing yourself to taking action. But it really all boils down to one final step. And this one takes some courage. This final bit of wisdom is kind of like a promise and a warning all in one.
If you're gonna seek the truth, you have to be ready to hear it. This simple act of asking a hard question forces you to face reality, whether you like it or not. And so, I'm just gonna leave you with this. Think about your life, your work, your relationships. What is that one really important question that you know you should ask, but you've been avoiding? Because finding the courage to face that answer, well, that just might be where your real wisdom begins.